Good morning. Welcome.
Morning.
What's going on? I got to move over a little bit. We got an ad playing behind us on YouTube.
Hey, don't show that. They didn't pay us.
They didn't.
Good morning, everybody. Happy first day of spring. It's pouring here.
There we go.
Or first full day.
Okay, let me move over. You got to
Anthony.
shift over that way a little bit, Carla Marie.
This way?
Yeah.
Most definitely not.
Towards that way. What? Towards the couch. Why are you looking at me like I'm
Because
crazy?
I don't think that's right.
It is right. If I move this way, then you've got to go that way as well. Unicorn Cindy, thank you very much for the gifted subs, 5 of those.
Moved the cameras. I think I moved the camera.
You did.
But that was
I don't know why you're not moving.
Too far.
There we go. Now we're good. Jen from Minnesota, thank you very much for the 400 bits. 200 from Kim, 300 from Jordan Puyallup, 100 from Claire. And that's actually getting us into level 5 of the hype train, so we might take this shot pretty quickly.
Oh, dear God. Radio fam subscribed for 19 months. Hey.
That matches what I just saw from Lenny earlier, too.
Matt, good morning.
So here's what's going to happen today. It's on the screen. We're going to see if we can get through this hype train to continue the streak to 3 days in a row. We have a little March sadness update. Dave C., thank you very much for the 10 gifted tier 1 subs. And then Carla Marie's got a big update on the accident she was in this weekend.
Yes.
Which is kind of crazy. I woke up to that news. A hype train is 240% of level 5. So that means, Carla Marie, you got to pour that shot out.
Damn.
It's early. Let's do it.
So I brought Tito's.
Okay.
I have had a conversation with Seattle Cocktail Club. I said, we need help.
Okay.
I said, what is happening? We need help. So they're going to make us some recipes. But also I said, can we put champagne or I don't know, morning stuff in there? And they were like, you can't really.
Champagne's not really morning stuff.
You can't really shoot champagne, but
Yeah.
okay. So we'll see. But I brought this stuff.
Felipe, thank you very much for the 5 gifted subs.
Finlandia Botanical.
Okay.
It came with something about.
So let's do that one then.
But is there alcohol in here?
Yeah. Finlandia is a vodka company from what I remember, right?
Right. But I thought, okay, so it's wildberry and rose, not rosé.
So let's try. So what are we trying?
We'll do that.
Okay. So it's going to be very flowery. Finlandia Botanical. Not for resale. This is a sample.
There's a tag on it. It came in a box of something that we got.
In case anyone wanted us to sell this to them, we cannot do that. Matt says, I'm not ready for this Monday. You know what? I think that's what Mondays are all about. Mondays are about not being ready and just doing it anyway.
That is Matt who does our website.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of our website and Matt, he's also, his company Seed Tech is working on the entire website and photos for my brother's new restaurant.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So stay tuned. I'll have updates on the restaurant when you can go there.
Is Scary Jones going to do an appearance at your brother's restaurant?
Told my sister, I was like, let me know. We can do an influencer night.
They don't want us. They want someone real.
I said, I wasn't saying us.
Oh, okay.
I will plan it.
Okay.
But thank you.
I had a dream last night, and I know I'm the last person to talk about detailed dreams or anything.
I gotta make some.
But I had a dream last night that Elvis was retiring and Jimmy Fallon was taking over for his show.
It makes sense.
I don't know why. And I woke up super sad. I don't want to listen to Jimmy Fallon in the morning.
What?
Not that I don't like him. I just don't think that's his thing.
Well,
I don't think comedians do well in morning radio.
No, because they're sleeping.
There's that.
Oh, gotta add comedians to the list.
Of what?
Things to talk about today.
I can't. It's done. Can't add anything.
Well, adding it mentally.
Okay.
I had a dream that I had 2 of every cat, and one was a sick version. And someone was like, Max is sick. I was like, that's the sick version. Go put her back.
All right. Now let's take the shot so we can get on with the show. I got back from San Diego pretty late last night. Got into the house around 1:15. So if anyone is tired this morning, I feel you. I get it. But you know what? I put on my bear hoodie, my fuzzy hoodie, and I'm ready to take on the world.
I can't wait till that thing burns in a fire.
Why?
As long as it's not in this house.
You have one.
First of all, I donated it. Second,
Okay.
that was a jacket.
Okay.
Actually, nice. I don't know where it is. This is different. I don't wear it as clothing every day.
Why not? It's fun. It's
and
fuzzy.
funny,
It's
when
fun.
when I got it, you were like, ew, what is that? You look so stupid.
And how did you feel? You probably didn't feel good about that, did you? You probably felt like you were being bullied, and I didn't even do it on national broadcast Twitch. I don't know what to call this. The internet.
Vanessa, I have
Thank you.
one.
She is a hater. Carla Marie. Hate, 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 hate. That's all I hear. Hate, hate, hate. Cats. Hate, 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 hate.
Literally, the best part is every time we sign on to play one of the games and record one of the games for the Morning Show podcast, he's wearing that.
That's not, I mean, the most recent time. Today's podcast,
And his
I was wearing
friends
this.
were ripping into him.
And that's okay. Carla Marie. Hate, 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 hate.
Anthony's friends also hate, 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 hate.
All right. So we are going to be drinking this Finlandia Botanical.
I can't wait till the next time I literally wear anything. Wait till you see my next newly.
Cheers. Cheers to you guys. Cheers to Carla Marie. Cheers to the bartender.
This is a big shot.
It's it's not bad by any means.
Mm-mm.
You all right there, Carla Marie? Drink your haterade. Let's go. Very uncertain, I think, it's like, I don't think it's meant to be taken as a shot, obviously. But it's not bad.
I did it in 2 gulps. I kept some.
So I don't know if this is actually available anywhere, but it's Finlandia Botanical is what we just drank. But it was part of like a special package thing we got.
I'd rather do whiskey, I think.
Really? You don't like it? Why? Why are you holding your nipples?
No, I got all kinds of chills. It reminded me of like soap.
Yeah, I guess it's got a little soap flavor in there. All right, now that we did that, we can move on. My face, I think, was a regular shot face. Carla Marie really struggled there. So you're not a fan of it? No? Okay.
Nothing's burning for you?
No, nothing's burning. I also drank like all weekend.
Same.
And not heavy, but I drank Friday at the game, which we will talk about. I drank Saturday. We just had some like margaritas and stuff. And then Sunday we went out to brunch and I had some mimosas. But they did this cool thing where they give you the whole bottle of Prosecco and they give you grapefruit, orange juice, and pineapple maybe? Something else.
Wait.
Oh, no, cranberry. And you got to make whatever you wanted.
Pause.
What?
We need a birthday song quickly for Martha's son Jake before he goes to school. Oh, God, that's mine on Friday.
Hold on. Happy birthday, Jake.
That's
There we
exciting. Yeah, I can never be trusted with making my own drinks.
Why not?
Because if I had to do that at the table,
well, the waiter or waitress served it first, and then
server.
Server, sure. Whatever.
I'm just helping you. No, I knew what you meant. I'm telling you the proper way to say
the person who was serving us at the table served us first.
Speaking of drinks, completely not alcohol, but I met my friend Hannah for drinks before we went to see Chris.
Wait, did you say you just got alcohol butt?
It's not alcohol, but.
Oh, okay. What the hell's alcohol butt?
That's another story. I met my friend Hannah for drinks before we went to see Chris Stefano live. And by the time I got there, she had also ordered Pellegrino to the table.
Okay.
And I guess I'd never really had it. Because I'm always like, no, tap's fine.
Yeah.
It was so good. I was like, Hannah, why'd you do this to me? I'm going to need to put this $8 bottle of water in my life all the time
It's
now.
not worth it. It's not worth it.
I loved it.
It's not worth it.
That's the life I hope to live one day.
Just Pellegrino?
Why'd you look at my face like that?
It's just you're far away from the microphone.
Okay.
Because you got to move the microphone
Can
this
you
way.
put the topics back up? Julie said.
Oh, I thought they were up. Wait, where do they go?
Thank you, producer Julie.
Thank you very much. Okay, so to the list. March sadness for Anthony. So, as you may or may not know, Friday, I decided to fly down to San Diego. Not only did I get to see my friends Sean and Nicole and Pat, But Seton Hall was playing in the NCAA tournament in San Diego. So, landed in San Diego. Friend took me to a place called Del Mar, which is a northern neighborhood or northern town north of San Diego. Got some drinks right on the beach. It was fantastic. Went down to the game, which was on the campus of San Diego State University. Or University of San Diego, one of those two. And the first 3 minutes of the game were okay. And then things just got terribly out of hand for Seton Hall.
It's safe to say that even though Rutgers also lost, they did better.
Yeah. Oh, Rutgers had a much better showing in their game against a worse team. So there's that. But yes, Rutgers had a much better game, a much better showing, a much more entertaining game.
Yeah.
Than Seton Hall did. Seton Hall's game was over.
I heard they're
10
banned
minutes in
from March Madness because they did so bad.
No,
like,
we're
they
not
were like,
banned
no
from
one was
March
entertained
Madness.
by this game. Also, then your coach, is that true? The
What?
story I sent you yesterday?
Whoa, did you read the story?
That night, he was like, I'm leaving, and I think this guy should replace me. And he mentioned the St. Peter's head coach, and St. Peter's had no business going to the round that they were in. And now their team is like, wait, our coach is leaving us 8 hours before their game?
Okay, so
Your coach is a dickhead.
Kevin Willard probably did not do the best thing he could have done in his press conference. But
Typical Seton Hall
here's all of the information about that.
Let's hear it.
So
Sports.
Shaheen Holloway, who is the coach at St. Peter's.
Yeah.
He is like the love of America now. America's fascinated with Shaheen Holloway. He is a Seton Hall graduate. He played at Seton Hall. The last time Seton Hall went to the Sweet 16, Shaheen Holloway carried us there.
Cool.
Okay. He then was a coach with Kevin Willard at Iona and was brought over by Kevin Willard to Seton Hall to be on his coaching staff. So he was the associate head coach, basically.
Oh, so this guy was working at Seton Hall at one point.
Then 4 years ago, this guy named Brian Felt was the athletic director at St. Peter's and hired Shaheen Holloway. Brian Felt used to work at Seton Hall, and now he is again our athletic director. So there's a lot of Shaheen Holloway connections other than the fact that he just played there with Seton Hall.
Okay.
So the theory all year long was Kevin Willard was probably going to leave for the Maryland job. They have way more money than Seton Hall does.
The
Terrapins. They're probably going to pay him like $4 million a year. Okay. And the theory, even before St. Peter's took off, was that Shaheen would take his spot. So it was blown out of proportion a little bit. Monmouth is not better than anyone. Monmouth actually lost to St. Peter's in their championship
That's
game.
your brother.
I know. I know it's him.
Razzing you right now.
So that's kind of what it was.
Okay, but you don't announce in the middle of a tournament when the team is about to play the next day. I think that guy should replace me.
You're not supposed to, correct.
It's rude. And you know what? He should be banned.
From what?
Sports.
I mean, actually, at this point, you could ban him from whatever you want. Whatever you want. I don't care. Doesn't affect Seton Hall.
Who's going to coach your stupid team? You?
So most likely Shaheen Holloway will be our coach. Now, I am worried, and I won't believe it until it's actually like the paperwork is signed, but I am worried that he has done so well that a bigger money team will take him from Seton Hall. Because there are other openings. Yeah, it wasn't the best thing he could have done. It's also being blown out of. It's also being blown way out of proportion.
It's a typical Seton Hall person thing to do.
Yeah,
just be a jerk.
Yep.
Just be a big weenie and ruin everybody's day.
I will say, watching Seton Hall, and this is like if Rutgers or Seton. I'm sorry, if Rutgers or Seton Hall had made it to the Sweet 16, Rutgers fans would not be supporting Seton Hall. Seton Hall fans would not be supporting Rutgers.
No. I was bummed because I looked at the score immediately after the comedy show. I didn't look at my phone the whole time. And first thing I did, I Googled the score and I was like, I turned to Hannah. I go, oh, fuck. She's like, what? I go, they got their asses kicked.
Yeah, we did.
This isn't good.
But I do love the fact that this tiny school from New Jersey that's kind of irrelevant in the sports world is uniting New Jersey.
Oh, St. Peter's.
St. Peter's.
I thought you were trying to say Seton Hall.
No, because Seton Hall and Rutgers have actual like sports programs that people have followed for a long time, have been on the national stage for a long time. St. Peter's is literally a block of Jersey City.
My cousin's boyfriend went there. He's been losing his mind.
As he should, because they shouldn't be where they are, and they're playing unbelievably well. Their coach is doing, their team and their coach has done everything right in the tournament.
And when you get to that point, like you're winning and you're not supposed to, like you're amped, like nothing can stop you.
Yep. Yeah, no one's ever really heard of that school. Even people in New Jersey don't really know of St. Peter's. It's very small. I think the student body, I was reading yesterday, is like 2,600 people total.
Jesus.
It is a very, very small school. And if you listened to Friday's episode of the Morning Show podcast, one of the biggest stories was not only that it was a very small school, but they beat Kentucky in the first round. Kentucky is one of two schools that has a $20 million budget for basketball. Basketball. That's it. $20 million is spent on basketball between coaches and everything. And St. Peter's every single year is one of the least resourced teams in America.
It's crazy.
When it comes to Division I sports. They had, I want to say it was 3 assistants on Kentucky's basketball team that all made more than St. Peter's as head coach. That's how much money they spend on Kentucky basketball.
Money ain't everything. Didn't you get your Jeep broken into on their campus?
I did. I was on, I think it's called West End. Is that what the street was?
I don't even know where in Jersey City the school is.
Like closer to Journal Square, and then you walk a little bit from there.
Okay.
But yeah, that's where my Jeep got broken into when I was working for Elvis. They unzipped the window and jumped in.
Well,
and they took my radio.
that's what you get for having a zipper as a window.
But here's the best part. So I had a little like a messenger bag that I used to keep all my stuff in. So I had a bunch of notebooks and stuff for work. And in that notebook was a blank check from Elvis Duran because I had
Not
to
for
go
you.
take it. Not for me. I had to go take it and give it to someone. And they, I guess, looked at the backpack or looked at the messenger bag and said, "Oh, there's a bunch of school notebooks. We're not stealing this." Had they stolen that, they would have had a very nice surprise. And that was the first thing I thought of
Richie Rich status right there.
when I was walking towards the car and I saw the window out. I was like, "Oh no, I've got to call Elvis now and tell him that his blank check got stolen from my car." Luckily, it didn't happen.
Your brother Michael said a zip-in instead of a break-in would be more appropriate. Although, to be fair, you are the victim of 2 zip-ins. One was my car and your sneakers.
Yeah.
What are they called?
They were the Galaxy Dunks for the All-Star game, yeah. Those got taken out. Let's see. Hello, first timer here. Is this a sports podcast? This is 100% not a sports podcast.
We should have put ourselves in the sports category, though.
But you know what's crazy?
Today.
So, St. Peter's, today.
We're talking about sports. We're both from New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Rutgers graduate. Anthony is a Seton Hall graduate. And St. Peter's is in Jersey City, where we both actually lived for a long period of time.
So St. Peter's today, in their first time winning in the NCAA tournament, has won as many NCAA tournament games as both Seton Hall and Rutgers combined in the last 15 years.
Wait, who has?
St. Peter's has won as many NCAA tournament games as Rutgers. God. And here's the craziest part. The only time in the last, I think, 30 years that New Jersey has had Sweet 16 teams in the NCAA tournament are both because of Shaheen Holloway. In 2000 when he was a player and this year with St. Peter's. We have not had a Sweet 16 team outside of him in 30 years. Shaheen, my hero. Please come to Seton Hall. All right, moving on.
Okay.
Oh, also, oddly enough, and I think it's because Rutgers was supposed to play. If they beat Notre Dame, they would have played in the same arena that Seton Hall was playing in.
Yeah.
As we left the Seton Hall game, there was a guy, and I don't have the picture anymore, but I sent it to Carla Marie. There was a guy decked out in all Rutgers gear, glittery Rutgers pants,
my hero.
A red wig fro thing. It was so weird that he was just there for no reason. And it's not like Rutgers played there earlier. They played in Dayton when they lost.
I don't even, there was no purpose for that man.
Do you not have the picture?
I
There
do.
it is. Yeah. He looked like the bad guy from Incredibles.
He looks like the Heat Miser. If you know, you know. Apparently, John Camucci is live streaming. What do you mean live? Is he on Instagram?
Oh, hold on. That person that asked if we were a sports podcast, Carla Marie, said, "I'm a pod host and just trying to find a new pod to listen to." Was just curious. Yeah, we don't really do sports. We do have a podcast called The Morning Show Podcast. You can check that out.
I do a thing called Sports with a Z.
What else is going on in the sports world, Carla Marie?
Oh, I did know more sports things. The Seahawks Combine is tomorrow.
Big news.
For the media.
Yeah, big news for Seahawks fans. You can watch a bunch of out-of-shape people do things that athletes do.
What else? There's something else going on.
Who is the best all-time performer in the media combine?
Anthony.
Yeah, that'd be me.
I didn't know that.
Smoked everybody.
Yeah.
They actually had to stop giving me prizes because I did so well.
We have one more listener. So we have a morning show podcast Monday through Friday. It's literally called The Morning Show Podcast.
And you can get the link if you type in ! and the word podcast in the chat.
We also have another podcast called My Day Friday that is completely off the rails. I'm just going to text John really quick. John, you are getting roasted in Twitch. I just said toasted.
What?
Toasted. Because he went live on Instagram during our show.
During our show?
Yeah.
So what?
He's not allowed to do it.
He's allowed to do whatever he wants.
Content Club contract says you can't do that.
No, he can do whatever he wants. Plus, there are probably like 6 people watching his live. So it's fine.
I don't know. All those California, LA moms.
No, did you see he's in
moms of college-age students love him.
Well, his college was playing in the first round of the NCAA tournament, Cal State Fullerton. And I guess he's in some like airport billboard.
You. Yeah. There's an airport, like the columns in the airport. Like Eric LeGrand is on one at Newark Airport. Mm-hmm. John Camucci is at one in, I think it's the John Wayne Airport.
The Orange County Airport? Yeah, for his college.
Yeah.
It's like, look what this degree can do for you.
Yeah.
Or something like
that. Something like how to make your morning fun. Add Cal, whatever.
Yeah, that's good. But do they actually say like the show he works for?
I don't think so.
Because that'd be a great billboard for the show as well.
It may have.
Augie says you guys should talk about Erica. So we talked about Erica a lot last week.
Yep. Today was her very first day on Channel 93.3.
And even though I was in San Diego this past weekend, I didn't get to meet up with her because where my friends live is like 40 minutes north of the city. And at the same time, I didn't want to I wanted her to get settled in because I know how nerve-wracking it can be when you start a new show. And I guess she was looking at apartments as well. So we never met up. But, I mean, we also hung out 2 weekends in a row.
Yeah.
So I think we had enough time with each other.
Plenty. And we'll see her at Stagecoach.
Yeah, in a couple weeks. So Erica does start. If you're in the San Diego area, obviously you can listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app. She works for Channel 93.3. It's the Gina the Latina and Frankie V show. Their morning show, and she's worked very hard for that role, and she finally, is being recognized for how great she is, which is great. Let's see. Robin Everett subscribed for, what is it? Oh, 15 months at Tier 1. Thank you very much. What do you got, Carla Marie?
Nothing.
All right, we doing this accident update or what?
Okay, it sounds like I'm about to do a traffic report.
Yeah. How's it looking on the 5?
Traffic on the BQE.
So I woke up on Saturday to a text from Carla Marie. Where is Carla Marie's message? There it is.
We've been texting more than
we don't text that much.
I know, but when you're not here, like when we're here, there's like one message in 3 days.
Oh, here we go. So it was
before that.
Before that, on my dinner.
That's weird. It's gone.
That is very weird.
Your phone. You know what? Honestly, your phone's dumb. Saturday. My original text.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. All right. So what happened? Tell us.
Well, I texted Anthony that my Uber had gotten into a car accident. So Friday night, I went to see Chris Stefano, which there will be a positive end to this because I'll get to talk about how awesome he is. But went to a comedy show, went out with my friend Hannah, my friend Rami met up. We went to a few bars downtown. Sometime in the 3 a.m. hour, I get in my Uber, driving home. In the backseat, passenger side. And we're stopped at the light on First, about to make a left on Denny. If you're in Seattle, you know what I'm talking about. We're out of light. All of a sudden, I just feel boom, and my whole body folds in half. My phone goes flying out of my hand. Like, I have no idea what the hell just happened. And I was like, both of us at the same time, my Uber driver and I were like, are you okay? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, do you want me to call 911? He's like, yeah. So I start calling 911. He immediately goes into the Uber app to be like, I got into an accident. Mm-hmm. And I don't get out of the car because it's raining. I don't know what to do. We're in the middle of the road. I obviously had been drinking. And I'm like, I don't want to die and get hit by a car. And the car behind, like, no one else gets out of the car. Normally when you hit someone, you get out of the car. I'm like, I don't know if this person's okay. Mm-hmm. all of a sudden the light turns green and we see the car go around us. And I was like, he's moving. Hurry up and just get a picture of the plate.
Yeah.
And I'm already talking to 911, like, hey, we're in an accident. We're on First and Denny. We got hit from behind. And I'm like, the guy's moving. So my Uber driver starts following him, which I also would have freaking
now
done.
You're in hot pursuit.
Yeah. Which, in hindsight, I don't ever recommend chasing a drunk driver because they're only going to drive more
Well, you didn't
around.
know he was drunk at the time.
Correct. But you would assume so if someone's like whatever. But yes, don't recommend chasing. Or anyone really for that matter. So I'm on the phone with 911. I'm like, he's here now. He's driving. I'm like, this guy. I literally said, I wish I could hear the tapes. This guy is going to kill someone. He's driving like crazy. Like when I tell you driving like he was in Crazy Taxi, he kept pulling over and then not pulling over. I think there may have been a passenger now looking back telling him pull over and then he wouldn't. Finally, he pulls over somewhere in Queen Anne, gets out of the car. My Uber driver gets out of the car. I get out of the car and I'm on with 911. I'm like, this guy is stumbling all over the place. He was like 6 feet tall, redhead, freckles. Like his shirt was halfway unbuttoned. Like he was, and younger, I'd say late 20s, early 30s, like all over the place. And he's like looking at the damage on the back of the Uber driver's car, which really seemed to just be an off-place bumper at that point. And my Uber driver said, can I have your ID? And he goes, it's in the car. He goes back to the car, jumps in the car, and drives away. And I'm on with my one. I'm like, he's driving away again. And they're asking me, does he have a weapon? I'm like, oh my God. No, he doesn't have a weapon. So.
Not that you know of, at least.
No, I said I don't see one. So then we still follow him. And 911 woman was like, you need to pull over because the police will never find you if you're still chasing him. Okay, fair. So I tell my Uber driver, I'm like, we got to pull over. He's like, okay, fine.
But shouldn't the police be finding the drunk driver guy anyway? So it's like good that you're, I mean, I know that you're not supposed to follow people, but that guy should not be on the road.
Correct. So we pull over. That whole thing was like 15 minutes. 30 minutes later, no officer had shown up yet. I had called 911 2 more times. He had called 911 another time. And I was like, I feel bad calling 911 back. But like, also, what is being done? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
And the second time I called, they finally were like, we're really, really sorry. We just have no one to send out to you. It's going to be a while still. If you are okay opting to a phone police report tomorrow morning, you can do that. So I told the driver and he was like, yeah, like I just want to go home.
Yeah.
So
well, at this point, you don't know where the guy is anyway, right?
And which is crazy is the second the Uber driver put in that he got into an accident, my trip ended. Mm-hmm. So I have no idea legally what is going to happen because anything and nothing else happened after the accident anyway, but he's just drove me home on good merit and whatever.
Luckily, you're not that far away either.
No. So the next day, SPD calls me and I'm talking to the woman and she was super nice and super, she's like, I talked to the Uber driver. He told me everything. What else? Like, I didn't have to describe anything other than my name, what I thought the license plate number was.
Well, you had a picture of it, right?
And I said to her, did you guys find him? She's like, no, unfortunately we didn't. I said, so what? I don't know what happens here. Like, do you go to their house? Like, what happens? And she says, unfortunately, the vehicle is registered to a female, so we can't really even do anything.
Which I think is nonsense.
And that's not.
Because you should be able to then look.
That's the law. Because they can.
No, it's not.
No, it is. Because there's no proof other than me saying, unless they're going to arrest the guy and line him up for a mugshot, but they have no proof that he was drunk because there was no test done.
No, okay,
he
but
said, she said at that point.
Yeah, but not even the fact that he's drunk. If they find out that, okay, let's say this woman who is registered to the car. When you have your car registered, they have your address, they have all your information. Mm-hmm. So they go to her home, they ask where the car is, and if she says, oh, there's my car in the driveway and it has damage in the front, at least then they can say, well, there was a hit and run. Even without the drunk driving part, it was a hit and run.
That's what I was told. They literally said there's nothing.
Which is
the
complete
words were
BS.
From the officer, there's nothing we can do.
And I don't want to sit here and say that they were lying to you, but I think they were just not putting in the effort that they needed to put in.
I did have someone reach out and be like, I'm so sorry, you're frustrated. Like, I said, listen, I'm not mad at Seattle Allstate Insurance is texting me and calling me now.
Did you put it through your insurance?
Their insurance. I didn't make a single peep to my insurance.
So why is Allstate calling you?
Because they also have Allstate.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Sarah from Fort Lauderdale said, okay, I'm a personal injury attorney, and I'm with Tony. That's me, I guess.
I can't tell the police to go do their job. I can't do anything in that situation.
But I am going to call my cop friends and be like, hey, what do we do in this situation?
So, I was like posting like, this is what happened. And I had someone be like, it's not the police. I'm like, you're right. It's not the police officers who were working. It's not their fault. They weren't just like sitting around, driving around Seattle. They clearly were doing other things. The entire system is effed. And someone on Twitter was like, that's what happens when you defund the police. I said, no. This has been going on in Seattle for years.
Yeah.
Years ago, I called SPD and said, someone is breaking into my apartment building. I'm watching it happen. They said it'll be 45 minutes till we get someone out there.
Yeah.
So in the sense of, I hate defund the police, but in the sense of, if they can have all of the military equipment they had during the protests, they can use that money to hire more people to better protect the city.
Let's see. Karina from New York said, is Washington a no-fault state?
Yes,
I have no idea.
I believe it
What
is.
does that even mean?
It's like, just because you get hit from behind doesn't mean it's their fault.
Oh.
Like in Jersey, I believe Washington is a no-fault state.
So then whose fault is it?
No one's.
So whose insurance
Or not
pays for it?
guaranteed. I don't know. They also did text me. Allstate.
According to Jolly Russian Buddhist, Seattle also increased funding for the police.
Yes, they did. So. Hi, Marie. This is Allstate. We heard there may have been an accident. We've already started working on your claim. If this isn't Marie, please text stop.
But it's not your claim.
Okay.
They said we've been working on your claim, right?
Correct, because I put in a claim with Uber. Have you ever been in a car accident before?
Yeah, but not with Uber.
When you put in a claim, that person's insurance calls you.
Oh, okay.
Like, I've literally never said
I've only been in one accident. I was 17 years old. I don't remember anything.
My name is Axton, cool name, and I am the adjuster for Allstate that will be helping you with your Uber claim. I need to speak with you to help resolve your claim. So, yeah.
Yeah. So Jess from Minnesota said, I live so rural, the cops are always super fast. And that is one of the problems when you live in a huge city like Seattle or Dallas or New York, is there's a lot going on, and I totally understand that. But here's the thing that throws me off a little bit is remember when your car license plate was stolen?
They were able to... No.
They looked it up.
And they saw my name.
Yeah. And then the officer looked you up.
The only reason he was able to come to me was because he Googled, remember? The whole thing. He Googled my name and found my address.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is he did the extra work to find, with the license plate information, that's all he had.
Because
he looked it up.
Because I had a stolen vehicle, technically, or a stolen plate. Federal, like, that is like a...
It's not a federal offense, I don't think.
But, like, and this is what is proof, though. The law is messed up. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to explain to you that none of it makes sense. They could easily go to that house, and if it's a mom or his wife, and be like, this car was in an alleged drunk driving hit and run last night. Or hit and run. Doesn't have to be drunk, because there's no proof that he was drunk.
But there's a very good chance he was.
He could have just been walking weird.
So according to Jolly Russian Buddhist, no fault means it doesn't depend on how the accident happened. Like in the event you get rear-ended, it doesn't matter if you slammed on your brakes or the other person rammed into you on purpose. Each insured driver covers their own damages. Yeah. Covers their damages.
Like, what is the guy? Mayhem? What company is that? Is that Allstate?
Yeah.
No. They did a really good job at branding.
I think he is Allstate, right? The Mayhem guy? Oh, this is a good piece of advice from Danny B714. She said, contact your insurance office, ask them what to expect when it's Uber's responsibility, get their advice.
I also have Allstate. So.
Oh, let's see. Sarah from Fort Lauderdale said, I can't type quickly enough, but these are all wrong descriptions.
What is?
And then she put no fault.
Well,
so yeah, she has an article in there that says, what is no fault insurance? So you can click on that. Because we are not insurance agents. We don't know anything about insurance. And Mayhem is Allstate. It's the one thing we do know about insurance.
Speed helps. I thought the same thing. Were there any traffic cams at that intersection? I don't think so.
Well, if they're not going to look up the insurance, the plate, and talk to the person who owns the car, they're not going to go into traffic cams.
But my back hurts more than normal. My lower back is definitely out of whack. I 100% need an adjustment. I haven't worked out since because I kind of felt like I'm scared to because I don't want to hurt myself more. I'm clearly functioning at the moment, but it's actually the initial soreness has gone away, but now I'm like, oh, I can feel that my lower back is kind of effed. Like almost a lot of the stuff I've worked on with my chiropractor is thrown back out. My neck was super sore in here, but all in all, I'm clearly okay, but I'm definitely hurting. Can I see what's happening out there? Do you hear that?
The cat whining, yes.
Screaming, but let me tell you I'll tell you a story about why I'm concerned because of something that happened yesterday when this was happening.
Okay. Let's see. Carla Marie does go to the chiropractor, so she'll probably go there soon, whenever the next appointment is open. Did the Uber driver have a dash cam? I'll ask Carla Marie when she comes back. Let's see. She will go get adjusted. I know, because she does that every 2 weeks anyway. And then, Becky, I saw your message earlier that said you did kind of the same thing. Someone hit you, you chased them, and then they hit 3 more cars. That's wild. What was going on?
He was just walking around the hallway screaming.
This one?
Johnny.
Okay, well, he doesn't want to be on camera.
Go over there. Go lay down. He wanted to be near his mom. He's a mama's boy. So I'll keep you guys updated as much as I'm legally allowed to.
And people are asking if you're going to go to, your chiropractor or get checked out by a physical therapist or something.
Yeah, I was actually waiting to talk to the insurance because I want to know how it works. Since I'm already a patient there or whatever.
So I do have a feeling that if you...
I've already been going.
Not even that. I think if you didn't claim anything the day of the accident, that's why they normally ask you. Did they ask you...
In the police report I did.
You said what?
That I had aches and pains.
Okay.
My neck hurt, my back hurt. Yeah, all of it.
Man, that's crazy, Becky. So what happened with that guy in court? Did he go to jail? I mean, that's if you're running around hitting multiple cars as you drive, it's got to be some sort of punishment for that.
No, I did not go to the hospital because I did not need to go to the hospital, and I did not want to be stuck with the medical bill of an insurance company that probably wasn't going to pay for anything. Because if I needed to go, I obviously would have. I didn't hit my head. I've been in car accidents before, and I knew that if I was hurt the next day, I also could have gone.
Well, Sarah, hold on. Sarah from Fort Lauderdale said, also, as an attorney, you probably should not talk too much about this on air if you're going to make a claim.
We can literally delete it. They would never know.
But we wouldn't lie about a claim anyway.
No, I'm not. I'm not trying to take money from anyone. If I need to go to the doctor more than I normally pay to go to the doctor, I would like that paid for. That's it. I'm not trying to sue Uber. My Uber driver was unbelievably friendly, got me home. I'm not trying to make money off people, just pay off my student loans, which would be nice, but I'm not going to.
Let's see. Renee asks, have you talked to your Uber driver since?
Yes. We got each other's numbers. He is not doing well.
What do you mean?
He's in a lot of pain.
Really? That's not good. Let's see. What's he doing over there?
He's up to something. He's so weird.
So Carla Marie gets mad at me every time we record a podcast because I usually say to keep the cats out of the studio. And she's like, no, they're my, whatever cats. They make me feel better. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't pay attention to what's going on when you have cats in the room. And this is exactly what would happen.
So last night, Caroline is the most vocal of all the cats. So last night, she's screaming. I'm still awake. I'm downstairs. I'm like, Caroline, please, what do you want? I don't understand. Screaming, screaming, screaming. And finally, we have a closet downstairs in the living room. And she's by the closet screaming. And Max is over there too. And John goes walking over. And all of a sudden, from inside the closet, I see these 2 white paws pop out. And it's Erica. But the paws pop out. John doesn't know she's in there. John gets spooked. He goes running, like cartoon running, full speed, hits all the food bowls. Things go flying. And
Why was she in the closet?
Because I had been in there doing things and she got in behind me. And I was like, well, Caroline, good job. So I had to give them all treats.
Because
there
Caroline...
are cat Twitch emojis. What happened?
Yeah, we need to get better ones, though. We have one, I believe. And I think it's Max. Or maybe it's Caroline. Let's see. Or maybe I deleted it.
What the hell, Toads? They're gone.
Because we're going to update our emotes soon. So I was going to have like the actual cats made. What?
That's sad.
So we'll have like the actual cats, not just random generic cats on the internet.
Oh, there they are. No, that's not ours.
That's not ours.
That's not Max. Johnny, I know, buddy.
Because I've actually talked to some people on Fiverr who can make emotes for us and do like badges and stuff. We're gonna upgrade everything. The first thing we had to do, because we've told everyone, like, we have a bunch of stuff we're trying to get done this year. The first thing we wanted to do was launch the new podcast.
Yep, we did
So
that.
we did that. We're still tweaking that a little bit. Next thing is going to be to upgrade and update even more things on Twitch, even though we did update, obviously, like the background and things like that. You're going to put him down?
No, this is what he wanted.
No, he just wanted... No, put him down, please.
No, he bumps me. Look, see? Hi, Johnny. All right, sit, bud.
I actually had to explain to my friends Nicole and Sean yesterday. We were on our way to brunch. It was the two of us, their two kids. We were going to go grab some brunch. And I get a text from Carla Marie. Let's see if this one is still on my phone.
I took a screenshot of it.
You did?
Because I wanted to post it. Because your response made me LOL.
So, you got it? Okay. So, Carla Marie has been planning to go back to New Jersey for Easter, for Catholic Easter. And I'm going to stay here, hang out with the cats. My friend DJ Marco Pinto is actually going to be coming out to Seattle, so that's one of the reasons I stayed here. If you are an OG Twitch follower, you're very familiar with Marco. So, we're texting back and forth about some of the things I need from the grocery store, and
that's it.
Here it is. Carla Marie, out of nowhere, texts me and says, if I go home for Easter, I miss Erica and John's first birthday. Now, if you know Erica and John from the radio, you know that they are way more than 1 year old. So, what Carla Marie is talking about are Erica and John, the cats, and their first alleged birthday. Because we don't even know when they were born.
They have the same birthday as Caroline and Max.
Because the place that they were adopted from probably just gets them in the same month and says, this is the day. Here, done. So my very simple and direct response was, I will not entertain this. That's it. And I had to tell my friends, I'm like, you will not believe the text message I just got from Carla Marie. And I read it, and they said, well, what did you say? I said, well, I just wrote back, I will not entertain this, which is a much nicer way of saying, like, I don't want to say, like, shut up and don't talk about that. I don't want to say I don't care.
That would be a weird thing to say.
I just said, I am not going to entertain this. And I have to say that to Carla Marie pretty often when it comes to the cats. Because she'll do things, and she'll be like, do you ever think about when they're going to die? I'm not entertaining this. I'm just not going to go down this road.
I know, Meg.
No, you don't have to be there for their birthdays.
Well,
it's not even their real birthday.
I can't even make that excuse to my family because I missed my great nephew's first birthday.
Yes. And here's the thing. It's not even their actual birthday.
Well, we don't know. It could be.
30th is a big year? What are we talking about?
It was Lenny's Turtle's 30th birthday.
Oh, I missed that one. Oh, like your girl, Elise Myers would say, Carla Marie, I do not receive this.
Yeah, but that does not count in this situation, Renee.
I don't even know that she says that.
She says, I don't receive this. That's when someone's like being negative and rude to you.
Not like I will not entertain
it's
this.
The equivalent of throw it in the garbage.
Because what you're trying to do when you throw out something like that is you're trying to get someone roped into a stupid-ass conversation about nothing. So I just say,
it's funny
I'm not going to entertain this.
Excuse me. It's funny that you brought that up to your friends, right?
Yeah.
You and I, the day after the Uber, like the morning after I got into the car accident with Uber, right?
Yeah.
Saturday morning.
I told them that as well.
Are you sure?
I did, 100%.
Did this come up? Because later that night, Nicole responded to my Instagram story and was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? And I said, that's funny that you've spent the entire day with Anthony in your home and he didn't bring this up to you.
Okay, so to my defense, Nicole, I believe this was Saturday morning. She had their daughter, Penelope. They went to dance. So I was talking to Sean about it. And once I have a conversation, that's it. I don't need to tell more people. So I told Sean. Sean knew 100%.
I was like, I can't imagine that he just didn't bring up the fact that this happened.
Yeah, you could celebrate their gotcha day, which was what day?
October.
Okay, so just wait till October.
No, I'm going to have strict instructions for you to make their little tuna cakes.
No. Is there gotcha day when we're going to be down at When We Were Young Festival?
I can't come anymore.
That's fine. I'm sure someone will take your ticket.
No.
Oh, damn it. That would have been fun.
You will make tuna cakes, and I found a cat.
I'm not making tuna cakes.
I found like cat birthday cakes.
Is it just a jar, like a can of tuna?
I guess you guys can all eat lunch together.
Because I am, and when we were originally talking, Carla Marie and I, yesterday about when we were on that text, it was because I was telling Carla Marie what I needed yesterday so that I could start my diet today. Now, if you remember, over the summer, I did the Jim Stepani Showtime workout and the accompanying diet, which first week was a bunch of cans of tuna, some tilapia, which people gave me crap for. I'm not here for it. I'm not going to entertain it anymore.
You're not receiving it. You would like to throw it in the garbage.
Yes, I'm not going to entertain it. I do not receive it. I will not entertain it, and I will throw it in the garbage. There we go. All three of them together. So I had to tell Carla Marie what to get for that. And the second week of it, I believe, is when I have to introduce sardines and crackers together.
That's right. What happened? I tried a sardine and threw up on
Yeah,
myself.
you did not like that.
I was sick that whole day. I literally had to go to bed.
So I sent Carla Marie. She was like, oh, I think I got everything we need for the week. I was like, no. This diet requires
Because grocery shopping is
a lot more.
going to be poor.
So we are going to be using that Costco link or Costco membership, not link. Here is.
Hit the link in the bio to go to Costco.
This is everything I need for the first week. Right there. I need 63 eggs.
No, we don't want
63 eggs,
We don't
7
receive
cups of
this.
low-fat milk.
We do not receive your grocery list. You're gonna. If I started reading my grocery list on this show, Anthony.
7 servings of 9 ounces of tilapia. 7 cans of green beans.
Beans are literally like, if you were doing Whole30, you wouldn't be supposed to have beans.
But I'm not doing
Beans
Whole30.
are actually like, that is like the one food that we as humans our bodies can't digest.
But here's the thing. I'm not doing Whole30, so I
know, but,
don't
like,
care about what the Whole30 diet people say.
You shouldn't have it.
Why?
Beans are not good for your
That's not
stomach.
true. There, it's a little bit true, but I'm fine with it.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah, there's a lot coming. So I think I actually might do for the first time like a little reel or TikTok video of like, this is what I eat in the day.
Not receiving it because you say it all the time and then you don't do it. My goal is to get Elise Myers on this show and on the Morning Show podcast to play a game.
Why don't you talk to Erica? She has her number.
I don't think
Erica and Elise Myers are like best TikTok friends.
Elise has like 1 million followers.
She does have a lot of followers. And she is very entertaining. I actually don't even know if she's entertaining. She's
relatable.
Very engaging and relatable.
I love you want to know my blah, blah, blah? I'm going to tell you why. Mm-hmm. Or I'm going to tell you.
Which is funny because I say that all the time. Carmen goes, why do you say that all the time?
No, I say you say that all the time. I say why. I know why.
Let's see.
You're not The Rock. You just eat like a healthy person.
No, but I could do 40. I used to do it, and Justin knows this. That's my brother in the chat. When I used to come home from like track practice or football practice, there were 2 things I knew how to make for myself when my parents were at work. One was I would make an 8-egg omelet, a 6 or 8 egg omelet, and I would just throw whatever vegetables were in there. Just a gigantic, this thing was massive. And then the other thing that I would make was an entire serving or whatever order of pancakes. So if you get like the pancake mix and it says like, mix 2 cups of this, 2 cups of that, I would eat the whole thing by myself. And that's supposed to serve a family. That's what I ate all the time, every day. Let's see. Anthony, we need your daily workouts. So here's the interesting thing about my daily workouts, D from Palm Beach. The reason I don't post them, and I'll post like certain things that I do, but I subscribe to this guy's app, basically, his website and his app.
You pay?
And I pay.
Wow.
And I feel like if you take the subscription-based workout and put it on the internet, you're kind of like screwing over the person
absolutely.
Whose content you're paying for. But I can obviously talk about the types of workouts I'm doing. So
and recommend him.
One day soon, maybe not soon, but one day in the future, I do hope to do a podcast in the workout, fitness, health space again once we settle all the things we're already doing. Because there's a lot on the table.
Yeah, we're going to need team members for that.
Got a lot of plates that are spinning.
Also, I would like to, I sent it to Anthony. There is a fitness course what is it called? To become a personal trainer.
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Should we do it?
It's 2 full days of our weekend. I know there's a discount, so it ends up being like $750 per person.
Less.
I just don't know if we'd actually use it.
But you have it forever. It's not like you don't use it, you lose it.
There's a cat in my backpack.
Okay, Dr. Seuss.
There's a cat in my bag. Let's see.
I
A
think we
workout
can do it.
podcast on Wednesdays. I cannot do one on
Legally
Wednesdays.
Cannot do that.
I signed that paperwork. Specifically, I cannot. That's like the only thing that I can't do in the workout space. They tried to make it any workout or fitness related podcast, and we fought that. And they're like, okay, well, write your own description for what the podcast is and what you can't do down the road. And I just wrote, utilizing the Workout Wednesday hashtag, Anthony talks to gym owners on Wednesdays about what they offer at their gym. So I can't do that specifically, but basically anything else I can do. So just a wild world in the radio contract.
Having your IP
universe.
owned is something I will never do again.
Mm-hmm.
When people are like, don't you want to go back to radio? I'm like, I like owning my ideas.
Yeah. And that's the thing. If I did go back, I was actually talking to my friend Sean about this because his wife, Nicole, also works in kind of the entertainment world. She's on the TV side, unbelievably successful, has 2 Emmys at least.
She's badass.
She's
such a girl boss.
I have 2 friends who between them, I think, have 6 Emmys.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's a weird world to live in. But, you know, she's transitioned out of the network TV world, the daytime network TV world, and she's doing other things. And obviously we're doing things outside of the morning radio sphere. And it's weird because at one point you're so involved in it that it becomes legitimately part of your identity. Like, and there's no way around it. You can say, oh, you're better than your work, blah, blah, blah. You're more than your work. It doesn't matter. When you're in an industry like that, it takes over your life, becomes part of your identity.
Yep.
And when you leave it, there's a huge identity crisis that you have. And you move forward and then you finally realize that you learned so much from leaving it that if you ever go back, you're going to be so much stronger and better for it. And that's what I keep telling the people.
It's like it's also like relationships too.
Absolutely.
You get out of a relationship, you're like, wow, that was so bad for so many reasons. I'm never letting that happen again.
And you say there are also things that I'm going to do differently next time I'm in a relationship because I can also be better, right? Like I won't let people treat me this way, but I will also treat myself and treat the people around me differently. So I always tell people if I went back into radio, which I am not against, it would just have to be a great situation and there would be very specific terms about the things that we create or I create or you create individually in terms of ownership of those things. So it's not out of the question. We'd have to find the right radio company to do it because most radio companies won't. They're too scared. Because what radio companies and what most entertainment and really corporations want in general is they want your ideas. They want to pay you a little bit for them and then own them when they let you go.
Forever.
And that's something to think of for everybody, no matter what industry you're going into. What does this company own of mine once I leave? And there are certain things that you say, okay, well, that's the company's right to own it, right? But you've got to protect your own ideas too, because there are certain things that you should be able to take with you.
Jonathan, no. Come here. Thank you. No.
Yeah, and like Claire says, protect your ideas. Let's see. Your contract meetings would be so much more thorough. Absolutely.
And not, oh, you need to sign this today, otherwise the job's not yours.
Yeah, that was the craziest thing. And I've thought about that a lot of times because in most contracts, it says you have to sign
Not under
paperwork
duress.
that says you're not signing it under duress or from pressure and you've had time to look it over. Our last contract with iHeartRadio, we were literally told that we were going to have it for 2 weeks before we had to sign it. They sent it on the Friday before they wanted it signed on Monday and expected us to sign it that day. And when we told them we weren't signing it on Monday, they basically said, well, we're going to take everything away from you if you don't sign it by Tuesday. It was nuts. Like one of the most...
I was like, okay, well then answer all of my questions and fix all of this by the time.
And that was the best part. We would ask a question and say, well, we'll have to get back to you tomorrow on that. So you have to sign the contract. And we'd say no. And I'd say out of all the nonsensical and disgusting things that we dealt with in radio, that contract process was probably one of the things that left the most sour taste in my mouth.
Well, we were gaslit through that whole thing too.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nuts. I mean, we were like actually legitimately yelled at to sign a contract that we didn't have time to look over.
And I said, I want out of this contract the fact that it says you own our podcast. And I literally got told, you really think we tried to keep your podcast if you got let go? Just stop it.
Yeah, and then they sent their lawyers after us for the podcast. But yeah, it was bad.
I don't know if we're legally allowed to talk about any of this, but I don't care. Sue me.
Well, they weren't legally allowed to make us sign that contract, so there's that.
Sue me.
So your podcast. So is your podcast on your own this time? So the morning show podcast, totally our own. And My Day Friday, and we will say this: Elvis came through as our hero for My Day Friday and said, "Listen, you guys are not taking that podcast from them. At the very least, let me put it under my podcast umbrella and allow them to do it under the Elvis Duran umbrella." So My Day Friday, if it's sold, I don't know if there are ads in it. I don't think there are. There were for a little bit.
Well, we didn't make any money off of them.
So Elvis has allowed us to do that, thankfully, and Elvis has protected us whenever we needed it.
Side Hustlers and Workout Wednesday are still available as well, like previous episodes.
Yeah.
They're also under that same umbrella. The story Anthony just told was actually 2 to 3 months of our lives. And we've kind of alluded to it on here before, but like,
the podcast.
Being
stuff,
let go wasn't even the worst part. It was the dealing with the after fact of just.
And we had multiple people.
Worst.
And part of it was we had most times when people are let go, it's because their stations are doing like really bad. That's, I would say, the overarching reason. Sometimes there's political reasons and there's things that they may have done to get themselves fired. In our situation, we were actually doing really well. And we were just replaced. And what the company was scared of was we were a brand together and we could have done a show together like we are doing now. And they tried to stop it in every single way they could so that you guys would be stuck listening to the old show. And that's something that radio does all the time. They expect you to be silent for 6 months and they pay you to be silent for 6 months or maybe even a year because they're trying to make their audience forget that you exist and just go with whatever else they gave you. So they tried to do that. They tried to like really silence us. And we had to be quiet for a little bit legally. They tried to take Twitch away from us. We went through a lot and it was draining.
We were told we couldn't do any digital content.
Yeah. And that's when I responded when they said you can't create any digital content. I said, well, a tweet is digital content and an email is digital content. So you've got to be real specific. You can't just tell me you can't make digital content.
Remember I said, so you're telling me if I want to do a YouTube video on how to walk your cat on a leash, I can't. That was what I literally said to a lawyer.
Yeah. So.
God, I hope they come after us again.
Let's see. Sunali said, that's how I feel about the job I got let go from, except I was getting gaslit and degraded for about a year.
Same, though.
I was very much a token-colored person looking back at it. Yeah, I mean, the gaslighting. Yeah, not that part.
I wasn't a token-colored person.
No. Yeah, the gaslighting, I mean, all of that stuff. Man,
Vicky,
it's crazy.
I have notes on notes on notes that I could easily turn into a book. I remember asking our lawyer, I'm like, can I do that one day? He was like, no. I'm like, okay, we'll just talk about it on Twitch then.
Although if the company ever folds or goes bankrupt again or
we own
sold,
everything back.
We can take everything back, and I think then you can kind of do whatever you want. Because, like, who's going to sue you if the company doesn't exist? The people can, I guess. The people that you talk about. Just change their names.
And the crazy thing is, our story isn't even the worst of people that have gone through. And it's not. There's also people that have had way better situations when they got let go. Mm-hmm. That's why we didn't understand why we were being held to a different standard than other people. And it was because they very much knew we could have taken listeners, which we did, and could have gone across the street because there's no, and when I say across the street, I mean not literally here. That's what you say.
Across the street of the radio station would have been the decrepit Baskin Robbins that no longer exists.
I'm gonna buy it.
Sell some crack out of the Baskin Robbins.
We could have gone on the competing radio station, which does still amazing, and we wouldn't have gotten our severance, but we could have legally done that because Washington State does not have a non-compete.
Let's see. My brother, the lawyer, said the company that buys the folding company would have the ability to file a lawsuit.
Our thing says if they go bankrupt, we own our
own podcast, but we still probably can't talk negatively about them. But they can suck my butt. Let's see. I'm trying to find it, make sure we didn't miss anything. But yeah, a lot of people have had it way worse than us. One of the things that was unique about Carla Marie and I getting let go is they rarely fire a full show and know that show likes to work together, right? Because a lot of times they'll fire full shows, but those people were placed together probably didn't like working with one another anyway, aren't going to defend each other down the road. And that's one of the things they will always try to do in corporate radio specifically, is they try to drive a wedge between the hosts. Because if they know they can keep the hosts separate, they can manipulate them in different ways. And that's something we dealt with for a long time. People would try to have meetings with me by myself and not include Carla Marie.
I was just thinking about this yesterday.
They would, and not between us, but between other members of our old show, they were able to do that. And they were able to make themselves more needed in the process because they drove themselves into the middle of some drama instead of letting us kind of be our own show. And they caused drama and on purpose to do that. So we were a very specific case where they knew they weren't going to split us apart in terms of like having us sign things against one another's will or anything like that.
Thank you, Shalonda. She said, I prefer your independent projects.
Yeah. So like they didn't want us basically unionizing strengths. But the reason I went through, we ended up there was because I was saying that going through what we are going through.
Workout podcast.
The workout podcast is different, but going through what we went through has made us
stronger,
smarter, more understanding of different situations that we're going to get ourselves in.
I mean, what does Kelly Clarkson say?
And what doesn't kill you makes you strong. I think people said it before her. She's saying it though. And this is a great example. So we did have, and I may have talked about this before, I'm not sure. We did have a conversation with a radio company, and we got to talk to their entire executive team, and most of them were very cool. We've stayed in touch with some of them. There was one guy who we have not spoken to since, and I was telling the story to my friend Sean as he drove me to the airport yesterday. One of the things he asked us, he was the only person that wanted to speak to us separately, which was a little bit of a red flag. But one of the things he said to me was, well, what does compensation look like for you? I said, well, I'm sure this is not how you want this question answered, but there's a sliding scale. And if you're looking, this was going to be an afternoon role with the radio station. So if you're looking for the amount of work and the amount of content that we did on the Carla Marie and Anthony show in the morning, you're going to pay for the Carla Marie and Anthony show in the morning. And I said, those were the specific words I said. I said, but if there's a show, if there's an opportunity that gives us a little bit more freedom outside of our radio contract, a little more freedom in our personal lives, so it can be adjusted. He had absolutely no idea how to handle that answer. And I get it because it's not a normal question. Normally someone tries to punt that thing down the road as far as they can, or just say, I'm just happy that we're having this conversation. What?
You're not plugged into the internet.
No. Why is it buffering? No, what are you going to do? Let's see. All right. Some people say yes. Some people say no. It looks like, according to our screen, we're good. We're almost done anyway, so. Let's see. Some people have it buffering. Some people say it's not.
John, you're blending with the tablecloth.
But again, if we never got fired, I never would have been able to have that conversation. Not because I wouldn't be talking to another company, but I
wouldn't have known yesterday's price is not today's price.
Yesterday's price is not today's price. No, but I wouldn't have had I wouldn't have been forced to realize I'm fine without a radio contract.
Yeah.
And that's a very powerful position to come from. And
it took you a while, I think, to realize that, though.
Oh, yeah. I think it wasn't that I didn't think I was going to be fine without a radio contract. And I still would like to make more money than we're making now.
Correct. Yes.
However.
We can both agree on that.
However, I was having a little bit of an identity crisis.
Oh, yeah.
And we say this all the time. The fact that you guys are all here and have supported our podcast and our different projects, I don't want to minimize the impact that you have had on us in allowing us to feel free from those dangerous and negative places that we were in.
I think also like launching the podcast and all the positive feedback has been like a whole new added fuel to my little jetpack. And I'm like,
where's that jetpack taking you?
I don't know yet.
To the moon.
I'm getting the hell out of here, that's for sure. And I don't mean Seattle, I mean this planet. But I was going to say something about the identity crisis. Mine started before we got let go. So by the time we got let go, it was like, I'm free. Mm-hmm. And so we were and I went through being sad of being let go and what am I going to do and what do I want to do? But we were both on different parts of that because mine started well before that. Even before the pandemic hit, I was very like starting to get confused, and I talk about it on here, but I remember Sam from Elvis's show, I will never forget, I was listening and she was talking about how she had heard something saying how somebody, excuse me, so much of our identity is often tied to our jobs. And we need to not do that anymore. You like, who are you without your job? So I started thinking about it and I didn't have answers. So I started searching around and figuring out what that meant, because the second I became an adult, it was radio.
Yeah,
it was everything. Yeah. So we struggle with that. And it was it was probably April 2020. I had said to Anthony, I don't think I want to do this forever. And that was the first time I ever thought or felt that.
Which is funny. And this goes back into having someone that you trust that you work with, right? I remember it was a little bit before that. We were driving around Seattle and I said something, and this is where, people go through similar things at different times and you hope that the timing matches up. I had said something where I was like, I just don't know if Seattle is the place for us, because there were other jobs that were open and whatnot.
This was before we got let go.
Way before we got let go. And Carla Marie got so mad at me.
I was not ready.
But
it wasn't, for me, it wasn't Seattle. It wasn't that I wanted to leave Seattle. I didn't love radio anymore. Mm-hmm. I was falling out of love with radio, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And a lot of it came out like everything, was flipped upside down in the middle of 2020 for everyone. Mm-hmm. And it was this whole big, what are we doing with our lives? And I remember being like, I would much rather be home than be in that studio. And I didn't love it. Well,
thankfully, you got to go home and work from home for a long time.
But that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would much rather do literally anything else with my life than do that job. When did that why? Yeah. And it was never like that. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do? Yeah. And I remember calling you in a panic and you were like, we'll figure it out. And I was like, no, but what happens like with us, with the show, whatever? And you said, we'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. So I started processing in my head, what else can I do with my life? What else can I do? Like, what am I capable of? And I started this process for 2 months before we got let go. So by the time we got let go, I was like, all right, I've listened to every person on my podcast talk about being let go and having other passions, and we'll figure it out. So I had to kind of explain to Anthony, like, I know you haven't listened to all of Side Hustlers, but I promise you every person has talked about this happening to them in their life and bigger things are to come. Yeah. And he wasn't here for it, but I knew it was coming.
No, and it's interesting because when you talk about, you don't know when that happened, when you'd rather be at home than in the studio. I think part of it is you got the chance to work from home. And because of the pandemic, you were removed from one of the worst sources of anxiety that we had to deal with. Mm-hmm. At least physically removed. They were still texting and emailing and whatnot, but you never had to be in a meeting with them. And I think that person specifically had ruined a lot of things for not only the two of us, but a lot of people in that building and a lot of people around radio.
Yeah, it seemed to be happening other places that weren't also involved with that person as well. Like, in general.
To different degrees. Let's see. Oh, I haven't watched Encanto yet.
Me neither.
So I've got to watch that. Encanto. But it was actually very useful when going through different phases at different times, because, and we've talked about this, especially getting let go, when Carla Marie was at a low point, I was usually at an okay point. When I was at a low point, Carla Marie was at an okay point. So we were able to pick each other up. And we were very unique in that situation. A lot of radio people deal with this stuff on their own. And one of the reasons that I love what the radio fam does, and Marie is oftentimes in this chat, is a lot of people I know for sure don't feel as alone as they would have, because she has united a lot of people and become a resource for a lot of people.
You can hear me on a podcast this week. I'll share it. And I mentioned that exact sentiment.
I'm not going to listen to that.
You're going to. It was so good.
No. Carla Marie's not a good podcaster. I don't listen to anybody.
Jonathan!
See?
I didn't know.
Let's see.
Yes.
Total recommendation for my culture. There's a couple like Disney things I need to catch up on. The jazz one.
You have to watch Luca. It's for my culture.
It's Italian?
Yeah.
So Luca, what's the jazz one? Anyone know what I'm talking about here? Or do I sound like a big dummy? Both is probably the answer.
Yeah, we have to watch a lot of that.
What?
Okay, get this answer, and then I feel Soul.
Soul. I got to watch Soul. And then my friend Sean, because he's got little kids, said there's another one called like Red something.
Turning Red. Yes.
Turning Red. There you go.
Yeah.
Got to watch that as well.
There are people flipping their shit about this.
I never heard of it until literally this weekend.
Because wait, you didn't? Okay,
I didn't know it existed.
I kept seeing previews. It just came out.
Okay, and it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I kept seeing previews about it and the trailer and all of that.
Oh wait, the commonality between Luca and Encanto is Bruno.
Oh, Bruno's in both.
Is he? Huh.
What is it? What are they?
Yeah, Turning Red is Disney Plus, and it's supposed to be like in the 2000s, and they've got like a Tamagotchi and all the different 2000s, early 2000s things.
Wait, what is the thing they yell in Bruno?
Okay, I'm not behind. Thank you very much, Heather, in Long Island. Long Island cheese.
But Turning Red, there's a lot about. It's about growing up, right? Like basically going through puberty, essentially, from what I understand. And it's a girl, and there's a lot of like, I don't know if necessarily they talk about periods, but there are people flipping out, like, I have to go home and now explain to my kids.
Is that why it's called Turning Red?
No, it's not. I know.
I just figured it was very close there.
She turns into is it a red panda? Like it's part of.
I heard they turn it, at some point you're supposed to turn into a panda, right?
Yes. We don't talk about. Oh yeah, we don't talk about Bruno. No, Silencio Bruno is what I was trying to yell. Silencio Bruno. It's so fun. You have to watch. They're all amazing. So Turning Red. Anyway, they talk about periods, and people are like, "Oh my god, I gotta go explain to my kid what a period is," and I'm like, "You act like you're teaching them to go do drugs."
But here's the other thing: in Little Mermaid, for example, or almost every Disney movie. They're kissing, right? Do you have to explain to your kids what kissing on the lips is and how that's significant in a relationship? Or do we just allow that to go or allow kids to think that it's fine on their own? Like, I don't know. I feel like those movies are supposed to teach your kids something.
Made by Erica, thank you. She said it's about puberty from a female's point of view, but they don't even say period.
Okay.
I can't wait. We're going to watch.
But I'm also, can you teach a kid about that phase of life without necessarily needing to say the word period?
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I don't know, do they need to say it? I don't know.
I mean,
I haven't had one yet, so I don't know how to like handle
boners.
it. What?
Like you can tell.
Yeah, but I'm sure they don't have boners in this video, in this movie.
Turning
wood?
Turning wood.
Let's see. Sonali
the
said
pearl clutchers pick and choose what to be mad about.
The what?
Pearl clutchers.
Yeah. Let's see. I have a bone to pick with Disney. Love all Disney, but they still, let's see. Oh, love all the diversity, but they still don't have an Indian princess. Who's Mira? I don't even know what that is, so it is obviously small representation. Do you know who that is?
No. I will.
Now I need to dive into it. It's got to be on the way. I mean, there's got to be, I feel like they're doing a very good job of, this is going to sound more corporate than it needs to be, but they're like doing a pretty good job going down the checklist. Like, who haven't we hit yet? Let's do this
again.
Oh, it's a Disney Junior show.
You shouldn't be proud of yourself if we're doing this in 2022.
No,
not you.
Let's see.
Oh,
Mira the Royal Detective on Disney Junior. Okay. Like Disney Junior is probably not something I'm going to get into because those are all shows, right?
Oh, thank you. Okay. Yes, all the Disney movies. We'll actually watch these, unlike when Anthony didn't watch Ghost and didn't finish the rest of his series. Maybe we'll do that this summer. We should have been doing it in the winter.
Let's see. Dana on Long Island said, grown men are offended by the movie because they can't relate, and it encourages kids to be disobedient as if every princess didn't do so. Yeah, exactly. Wasn't that the whole thing with Little Mermaid? Like, she didn't listen to her dad, and people were like all mad about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess
Disney what? Simba didn't listen to his dad either.
And look what happened. It's Simba's fault.
I saw criticism that Turning Red has adult content for discussing puberty. Yeah, but that's exactly. So she says it's almost like puberty doesn't happen to literal children,
By the way,
is what it happens to.
Is Megadamia not? Is that Juan? No, that's the other Meg. Different Meg. There's two Megs. That one Meg is Juan and one Meg is actually Megan. That is actually Meg. I finished Inventing Anna. First of all, it was so long.
Thank God I don't have to hear that show.
No, I might watch it again. And I'm in the middle of Bad Vegan. And then I'm finally going to watch Tinder Swindler. And I will tell you this, no one's ever going to pull one over on me.
Too late.
Bad Vegan, you might remember the story. The woman who had the pure food and wine restaurant in New York City that every celebrity went to. It was all raw food. Nothing was cooked.
Okay.
And it was like huge restaurant early to mid 2000s in New York City. ends up dating and marrying this guy who like basically steals all of her money, but it ends up looking like she's the one that screws over her people.
Okay.
That's the story we're finally getting now. But he was out of his batshit mind. Like, sadly, this guy needs mental help, but that like is never what actually happened.
Yeah.
He would like text her saying that he was going to make her dog immortal and he was going to take her to the next level, but all she had to do was send him $100,000.
So do me a favor, grab the book that's next to you, the cultish book. So this book is actually like, it just talks about language, but it actually talks about how people like that get people to believe the wild things that they say. So it talks about anything from like the Heaven's Gate cult to Soul Cycle.
Yeah.
And how once you get someone locked into a way of life and a language, you can kind of make them do anything.
I'd say partially this.
Okay.
I really do think you would enjoy this.
How are the accents?
New York, it's full and full. It's like through and through. It's hilarious.
Okay.
But Inventing Anna, you know how many times I asked the cats if they were poor on Saturday? Or why they were so poor? Okay, well, I can't do it. I feel like I lost it because I haven't been watching it.
It's going to be time for us to go now.
VIP is better.
Okay, so thank you very much for hanging out. This has been an hour and 20 minutes. We've taken up way too much of your time, but we will ask if you haven't listened to today's morning show podcast, if you can spend a little bit more time with us there. We'd appreciate it. If you haven't left us a review or a rating, if you listen on Spotify or Apple or any of the other podcast platforms that allow you to rate us or review us, we'd appreciate that. Thank you, Sarah from Fort Lauderdale, not only for your legal advice today, but for putting exclamation point and podcast into the chat so everyone has the link. Carla Marie, anything you want to say before we go when I put the screen up here?
Cats are better.
Okay, it's time. That's it. It's time to go.
You have no fashion. You look so poor.
I'm wearing a fur.
You look so...
I'm not wearing...
I actually think I'm good. It's the only accent I can do. I can't do British. I can't do anything.
Okay, well, we can't do this show anymore. Goodbye.
Wait, Vanessa, I might have a rival for you. I was actually looking at your submission for the form to play the game, and I almost emailed you yesterday, working on it. I'm trying to pair people up that are like around the same age so that we can kind of find the same genre and everything. So stay tuned.
It says the stream is over, Carla Marie.
Stream is not over until I say, and I just went
goodbye.
Southern.